live? Looks like we are. Yes, we are live. I'll quickly share the stream in every Discord I can. Well, not really, but still. And then we'll get on with it. That's and this is the second one. Okay, I think that's it. Let's be professional, put the phone on silent, and before people start actually joining, I think I'll run some replay I have saved just for fun. Maybe even have a game or two, and then I'll get into the actually submitted replays for analysis as more people join in, because I want to make it more of a dialogue than me rambling about replays again. So yeah, let's show Adam's game here. And also I have the huge minimap. Is it too much? Might be. Also, cheers everyone. Got the only drink. Hi Bonsai, welcome. Since I'm not playing, I'll leave the microphone on its stand. It's closer to the keyboard, but I shouldn't be using it enough to be annoying and always satisfying the ammo rack of an IS-7. It's not my shot, but that doesn't make it any less satisfying. As you can see, I'm down. Actually, you can't see. I'm down there in the ditch, and Adam here is supporting me. So if we have people, especially some of those who have submitted replays to the server, then I'll start right after this game. If not, I'll get one more play a bit to get people. Yeah, finish your kitchen, man. There's no hurry. You can always rewatch it if you really want, but it's always nice to have how to put it, people of varied skill levels. And varied, I think, is the perfect word, because people will ask different questions and we look at things through a different lens, and that is what we want to see. We want to see something that we don't do ourselves by default, because I already do that, I already know it, I already say it. Why would I want that? So having as many people join is always better. Well, of course, excluding those who are just coming for harm, but we don't have any of those here. Whispering? Oh, come on. I'm not talking loudly. Quite far from it, but this is not whispering, is it? And I just realized that I have no game sound. I forgot to turn it on. After this replay, I will go into the settings and figure it out. I think I know the volume levels, but anyway. Here you can actually you see the difference in playstyles, as Adam is going for the safe shot here and he's almost full hit points, whereas poor me in the other 100 on 200 hit points. Now of course I used every hit point I had, but you don't really want to go that low usually. So that was a nice game. It was a very nice platoon carry. I've already shown this replay on yesterday's stream, but I showed my point of view, so today we have Adam's point of view. We all know experience counts first, right? Which is why I had it set to damage. So not here, but in settings, I think 10 for the music, which is pretty loud, and 30, and I should also unplug the speakers so I don't get the echoes. Is this fine? It should be fine, I think. Let's go for one more. So I don't have, this is the Steam client, which is why I don't have any replays. So we have Professor Heat, 2 from Aquila, 2 more from Professor Heat, and 1 from Japanese name guy, which we have to do today. So I can't count 6 replays that are meant for today's stream, but as I said, I will wait either to have some more people in, or one of the guys who's actually in those replays, so I can give it straight to him. Until then, we can watch what? These are all games from the server, so I'll get Plat 7 here. He's a very, very good player, if you didn't know. And so we'll see this game, and with this also tell me please if the volumes are alright. Is the game sound maybe too quiet or too loud or something like that? As a streamer who has streamed literally yesterday, there is no way I could do this beforehand, believe me. He plays later than his days off. No, it's not at all similar, because his streams are actually good. That's the first difference. Mine are just, yeah. And also I'm not going to replace him during his days off. He has, I believe, 2 weeks off. I'll replace, if you can call it that, I will do my streams for a few more days. So this weekend and maybe Monday, Tuesday, and no further than that, I don't think. And yeah, so just doing a few streams, having a laugh, and then upload today. Meanwhile, Plat here is playing very aggressively in his AMX M4 MLE54, which the tank sadly made it into Blitz as a collector with crates or excruciatingly high. Actually, I don't. Did this one even come for gold? From mediocre to soft? Man, say bad. Soft may give other connotations. Anyway, so the tank made it into crates. I don't think it was for gold. Even if it was, my issue stays the same, which is that in PC it is one of those tanks that is made special from the fact that it has 2 perfectly usable guns. It's not like the 100 where you can use the big gun or struggle until you can get the big gun. This tank actually has 2 perfectly usable guns, much like the tier 9 on that line, which is a very cool idea, and they did implement it with the Yo in Blitz, but it would have been nice to have this tank as a proper tech tree and be able to choose between 400 alpha with good DPM and maybe 480, something like that. Still not bad. It looks like a very nice tank. It's interesting in design, even though frankly it's freaking huge. I think my issue with it is that I see it so rarely on the battlefield that I'm not even sure how to play around it. But yeah, tank is very cool. We've seen here Plat playing aggressively, moving around, taking some very calculated risks, like the Sheridan shooting him in the back, using his tank to the utmost capacity with his micro, you know, face hugging properly, angling, all of that. But I mean, that is a complete part of the game. It's not, however, the main focus I usually like to look at, because that's what everybody does. You look at every Bushka video, he's always like, he's hiding behind that guy and he's using this and he's angling like that. And I'm saying Bushka because it's the most famous. He's probably the least guilty of this. And yeah, he says all of that, and then my issue was always, great, I can angle. When the game starts, where the hell do I go on this big map? And it took a while to answer that question. So that's what I like to focus on. And it's been 10 minutes since I started, so after this replay ends, I'll go straight into them, into the server replays. Since I'm not seeing any complaints, I can assume that the volumes are alright. Okay, I will assume that the volume sounds are alright. And that is his 4th kill of the game. I didn't really look into this replay. And he's done a bunch of damage, 5.8k, which, I mean, it's a very high amount of damage. It's just not the sort of damage you would grab your head in your hands and scream around the house high. Yeah, that's it. Let's go into the replay. Since I have, let me just get them easy to see. Good. So I have one from Kimisatsu. Okay, I can't speak Japanese. We have 3 from Professor Heat and 2 from Aquila. So we'll start with Heat's replays here, as he has the most, and okay, whatever. This is a tier 8 rating battle encounter, Rockfield. He's playing the ML1. The tier 8 ML, okay. Actually, the cursor isn't on the screen, so I don't need to hide it. Good. You see the enemy team has an ML2, plus 2 ML1s, an EXP T34, so we're very, very strong cooldown. While the friendly team has a standard B and 5100, and yeah, fairly similar lineups. I mean, it's ratings. People will play the meta tanks or the free premium they got from the event, one of the two. He's going where he should, namely following his team, whichever side of the map it is. It is my belief that both sides of the map work perfectly fine. What I don't like is the fact that we have 5 tanks in 2 square meters. Well, that's an exaggeration, but still. We have everyone here. The 5100 sees that, tries to cross, takes a shot for it. It's not too bad. WT can cover from behind somewhat. And the VK is very slow as usual, because it's a VK. Not going to be fast. And here is the issue with when everybody goes here. They can just push low, and then this position is very hard to use. Of course, you can make their life harder, but you're essentially relegating yourself to sabotaging the enemy, to say so, rather than trying to win the game. You're just trying to not lose. So here, you know, he could go around the back and try to fight those guys pushing in. The issue is that the ML's penetration is atrocious. And what is that turret? I've never seen that. What? And he has armor. They literally hit the turret instead of his tank. What is that? Wow. And he's taking damage from it. And he can't fire because the turret covers his gun. What? How cool is that? That was brilliant. That was absolutely brilliant. I'll go back into the replay to look at it from a tactical standpoint, because there is one thing to look at. But that was so cool. That was absolutely hilarious. Let me switch to the small minimap, because this ridiculously sized one isn't exactly what I want. And Let me check what he said when he uploaded this, because this is not the sort of replay I would expect to see on this channel. Um, which one is it? Is this? Yeah, this is the one. Was it actually possible to do at least anything this game? Well, after the turret flew on you, no. And I realized that the entire playback paused because I switched to the other. Okay, no big deal. But yeah, you could definitely have done more than 0 damage. So we'll go into it again and I'll look at it. Anyway, this is not very complex. So yeah, so you have the standard beat doing so spotting run. Poor guy, that stuff happens too often. Nah, the turrets flying around without ammo racks and blocking the way and all of that are annoying as hell. But having a turret drop onto me and do damage, I don't recall ever happening to me. Anyway, that was still hilarious. I absolutely love this. Standard is doing some spotting run there and he doesn't really see much, so enemies are either that way or more likely all in the back. We have 3 tanks here, 4th tank here in the Louvre. Where's the VK? Oh, the VK is even further back, right? And here is their WT. And the issue is that, as we saw in the replay, they can just push around to here, which is a play that I like in faster heavies. I've shown it a bunch of times on my channel, most notably in the 113 video, I think. But you know, it's the very simple concept of you come here and you can shoot there, you can shoot there in that bush, and you can shoot around here, and your cooldown, it's very hard for the enemies to fight you. And so, well, it's hard to fight against that, because if you come, say, here, it's a bit hard to play, although I'm pretty sure the Emil can come around and stay hold down. If you come here, then what are you doing? You cannot move anywhere. As soon as you move away, you get shot, so it's not good for pubs. And if you come here, the way the AMX did, if you don't have support, you will get killed. So it's pretty hard to play against that play if you don't have support. The WT gets spotted on the other side, and all of the heavies are coming in hot over there, which you do notice. And this is where I said that he could go around the back, because there's not much. I mean, I said it a bit later. I said it's about here, and sorry, not that. I wanted to pause after the 5100 dies. About here, what I'm referring to is going around the back, where the VK has yet to get to the front line. And here is a possibility if they're pushing in hard, or alternatively here you can stay hold down. As I was trying to say before the the highlight of the game happened, the ML1 has really bad penetration, and if you face this thing frontally, the ML2, you'll struggle a lot. Of course, the lower plate is easy to pen, but if he's hiding it, it's a hard pen. You need to go for the turret upper plate. That's not easy. But another issue is that once you're here, it's a bit hard to pull back, because you have to expose more. But that is mostly the thing I say. If you stay here, you're in a really tricky situation. The WT will be shooting from the bush. He is not spotted at the moment. They could push through here. They have enough map control to go up here, as the T-34 is doing. He'll come here and dump shells into your head. So the play usually in mediums at this point, I just like to run here and go for damage or try to support if they push, because from this position you have let me go down. You have shots there, and you have shots on the other side as well. But in heavies, you know, you're pretty not mobile, and the ML is definitely not accurate, so you could still come around the back, try to spot the WT, maybe stay hold down, not around here because of the WT, but maybe around here, around the corner. Have to fall back a little bit. There is no way you're holding this. And that's about it. At this point the turret drops and there's nothing more to be done in this game. Very nice submission though, not for the purposes of the channel, but for the absolutely hilarious moment. So this was the ME1 on Rockfield. I'll put it off because actually I'll keep it here so we can see exactly what we're doing. And next one we have more from Professor Heat, or okay, now let's go for this one. So we get varied players. And I can also activate the huge minimap. What do we have here? Let me pause just to look at the lineups real quick, as I wasn't paying attention while loading. We have is it rating or regular? I'll assume it's regular battles because from what I've heard on Asia, there's full of heavy tanks. Welcome back, Bonsai. You have a bunch of heavy tanks, 2 hold down mediums, a grilla, and hold down on open field more like. And the enemy tank has a bunch of heavy tanks, 2 mediums again, although they don't have any armor whatsoever. And the heavy tanks are generally not as good for fighting frontally, and a TD. So right off the bat, with this sort of setup, I would prefer the left side of the map. Let me be more. Wait, I need to start the battle before I have the free camera. So, because you have, where are they? They're here. T62 and 121 against Sheridan and Leo. It simply wins. You have more DPM, you have armor, you have everything to win. So you can fight for the corner quite comfortably. The only potential issue is if they come with their heavies, which would be 50B, T57, E100 and an IS-7. So the IS-7 is the only real threat, as 50B and T57 are too big and they would get shot from the back a lot. And if you can control this corner, the enemies can't really play this area. It's very annoying. And so you can have, because you have low profile, good cooldown heavies, you can go take this position. You have the Super Conqueror's cooldown who can do that. You can play here. You can play around this side. The Gorilla could join the mediums in the corner and fight, shoot that way. And all in all, you like to play this side of the map. The enemies, on the other hand, have autoloaders and the new 100, so they would like to play the other side of the map and make a push, you know, trade advantageously with the big alpha of the 100 or with the clips. Also, I should remember to turn off the huge minimap while free camming because it looks awful. We are going for the heavy side, and all heavies are going for the heavy side, so this is not really his fault. His bad decision, he kinda has to go with the team. He could have played more towards the middle, I guess, but he's sort of doing it by spotting here. You can see where the enemies are going, so this is a good play, I like it. What I think I don't like is what looks like calibrated shells, 7.9 second reload. I'm pretty sure this has the same reload as the 113 at 7.3 with ammo. It can perfectly work with calibrated. My issue is that having AP and APCI, you get 5% instead of 10%, so you get less than if you had hit. And you don't really need it. You can penetrate the 100 frontally with gold, and that is precisely what he's doing. Now this is a big, heavy conflict, and I didn't pay attention, frankly. Did this T63 die? What did he do? Wait, what? Where did he die? Oh, there he died. Okay, man. So he wanted to get a shot and got blasted by what looks like the T-123 sitting in the bush at the back. So he's fighting with the heavies here, but this is an issue already. Since the T-62A died, Sheridan and Leo have the mobility advantage. They can get around and put side shots in. So you want to be a bit more aggressive, and the E3 is here, so he didn't even need to shoot the T-62. This is interesting. Was that a high explosive or a double tap? my questions are really not relevant here. He's doing his best, although he could be using adrenaline at this point. Nice high roll. Slightly high. At this point I would consider falling back, actually. There's no way you're pushing this realistically. They have one guy behind and a lot of crossfire, so you can't really move in. If you had reactive ammo maybe, but around the back I'm expecting their one of the heavies, yeah, the T-57, and also the Sheridan and Leo to be flanking. And the T-15B has a very nice gun and very good traverse speed, which is what allows it to effectively engage mediums. Now, they've managed to kill the T-123 and now he's moving in, which is very good. You kinda have to take a shot from the 100 here, or at least risk taking it. You kill the IS-7 and then you can fight that guy. IS-7 is still alive. Oh wait, he got killed by a teammate, never mind. Got blind. Calibrated shells made him miss. If he had rammer, he would have loaded the gold without thinking. Okay, jokes aside, that's an unfortunate miss, but it's alright. He has yet to use any of his consumables, except for the repair kit. That shot would have been important. I think he was considering going for HE and didn't quite get it in time. Oof. Yeah, that wasn't an easy shot, so I can understand one miss there. Come on, get him. Nice. And is this losing? Ah, the 1-2-1 is going to get crossfired. Yeah, you have to have them all in front and use the speed boost. It works. But if you lose, if you decide to play without an extra repair kit, you kind of have to actually make proper use of the consumable. So IS-7 went for the T-57, which got them killed, but you will have the Leo here thanks to the lovely upper plate. Absolutely no reason to go for HE there. Could have killed him with 1 AP, I think. Yeah, because of the ram damage. Good hit, but there's no way you're bouncing this. Yeah. So he was pretty on point in this game. Let's watch it again to give a bit more feedback. So, and also see how the hell that guy died. That's what I'm more curious about. Cause that's super early and the oh, I see. How do you do this, man? How do you even? I think he was lagging quite badly somewhere, and he was trying to. Okay, that was really bad. He put himself in the crossfire. Yes, he did, but I think he could have still played better even at the end. So at the beginning, we agreed that he did fine. 227. Another thing, if you look at his provisions, which I do have on screen, he has big small coffee and big fuel. Especially on the 2-5, I mean on the tanks that can, only on the tanks that can. Just get the big sandbags, you get a lot of hit points. Glad this was not me. I'm pretty sure you would like to do a 5,900 damage though. Oh wait, you mean the T-62A? Wait, yeah. No, it's Asia server, don't worry, it definitely wasn't you. And also, you're not that guy. If you actually play aggressively, you play it because you know what you're doing. But you should play aggressively a bit more because, you know, you learn by doing. Anyway, so you running the big sandbags instead of the small coffee, for me, is simply better. The extra hit points are quite good. Here I said you could pull back, but the enemies didn't really unnecessary shots from Route 100 and Sheridan. Where? So he's still full hit points, We agree that this is fine at the beginning. You mean here? Well, you have to pressure because the enemies are coming behind and will kill that guy. Like, if you avoid taking the shot, you're not killing D100. And who is going to take the shots if not you? Let me pause real quick. That guy is dead. The IS-7 is done, and this guy is 2 shots. Like, somebody has to take the shot. You're not going to kill him without taking a shot. And he's the best tank to take the shot. Of course, having a dead driver is never fun, and he could have tried to be like try a bit of side script and stuff, but these guys are pushing the IS-7, and after he's dead, they're coming for you. So you're in a bit of a hurry, which is why I think this is perfectly fine. He's now dead. Or you could also let the 1-2-1 take the shot, but you don't want to do that either. This shot here, this shot here you could actually, let me get the, so you could say that you shouldn't be pushing here, but then what do? You just kill the 100 and then come around the back and stay here. This is a bit of a crossfire, but you can use the Yo as a cooldown cover, and then also the Gorilla. And if you move around, the Leo is in a bit of a bad spot. Of course, by the time you get here, the Leo is free to go around and hide and all of that. But it is definitely an idea instead of pushing here. Yeah, you're right here. Because this way the Leo is hiding there, the Sheridan is hiding here, the 57 around the corner, and I forget that you can't see my cursor. Anyway, he can't really, if any one of these tanks, if he decides to push, he'll get killed by someone, by the other guys. It's a, actually nobody watched my yesterday's stream, but it's a very similar situation to the S7 game. So at this point, yes, you could be going around the back, and since the S7 is still alive somehow, you could even go there and maybe help him out if he stays alive that long. And especially with speed boost, this tank is quite mobile, so yes, there's no point in coming here. You could go around the back. And at this point, both IS-7s died because they were overly... I'm sorry, the IS-7 and the 1-2-1 died because they were overly aggressive. There was still 1 IS-7 left. This shot, you have to get the kill. Of course, you could have used the speed boost to be turned in time, but oh well, not much you can do. And other than using the speed boost, I guess. And here, let's look at this. So he was 1,100, no, 1,200 HP. That's 3 shots anyway. Although putting 1 HE is a good idea because if you roll exceedingly high, does he have a max roll actually? He does have a max roll even. You can get the kill, and also you don't want to risk rolling low. So shooting the HE here is what you want to be doing. And he doesn't get the max roll, but he does get the RAM. Here, just go for the AP. It's not a mistake, but it is something. And here, the T-57 is there. What you want to do is get unanswered shots. So he's putting himself here, where if the T-57 pushes to his left, which I really should prepare for this thing, pushes left around the I-7 carcass to give some context, you cannot see him until it's too late, and if he pushes right, you cannot run because of the way you're aligned. If you turn around to run away, which you have to do because you can't reload in time, he'll just shoot your exposed side. So this is not good here. You would have to get him spotted, that's obvious. Maybe go forward, stick to the thing here. Sierra Galaxy, and there is a 50-meter proximity spotting, and if you get closer you will spot him as he approaches, and then by proximity, and then be able to run away from him. And ideally you want to get your shots through these cracks here because they allow you to get some cover and stay somewhat cool down. As he does it at this point, there's nothing you can do really. And he doesn't have the speed boost anymore, so there's no way he has the mobility to run away, and all you can do is hope for a bounce. The issue is that even if you get in a face hug, the T-57 is the taller tank, and shooting down on the upper plate he will have no issues penetrating even with armor piercing shells. So he gets a shot here. He should have tracked him. He missed. He probably tried to track him, but Could have taken a bit more care, but at the same time you want to take the shot as soon as you can, and you don't really have time to take care to hit your shot. But if he had tracked him, he would have had time to maybe reverse around the corner and still survive. As it is, this is no-go. So, nice game, but yes, pushing into the crossfire was the one thing that actually lost the game. Good game though. So that was the second one. We still have none of these guys here, so I will go for the next Professor Hit replay, which is on, what is it, Yukon rating battle again, encounter, and the ML again, but this time is Yukon. So let's do the same thing and look at the lineups. A lot of heavy tanks. This is rating, so of course there's a lot of heavy tanks. An STG, who plays STG in rating? Tier 7, man. What a world. So looking, actually let's do it in real time. They have plenty of heavies and the T49 and 130 PM. You have plenty of heavies and the T28 Defender and an AC-12244 and the STG as a medium. I mean, yeah, just follow your team. This map is quite good. I quite like it. As in, you can go pretty much anywhere with any tank and do reasonably fine. Of course, some parts of the map are better for some tanks, but it's not really a night and day difference. Pushing left early, like, I mean, if you run into the entire enemy team, it's not too pretty, and they have big alpha tanks, the SU, Samoa, ML, T49 even. So pushing like this without any spots is, well, obviously risky. Enemy is in the cap, so you have to already consider going for the cap at this point. Especially since it's rating, they don't cap. What? Anyway, pushing like that was spotted. He didn't really get punished because the Smasher fired HE, but you don't want to put like that. And it's quite chaotic. There's no real play that he can go for, at least not that I can see. So going around here makes some sense, but you're missing shots on the... oh wait, you have shots on the S2 and somewhat. They're on the left side of the exit there. And he does get some shots off, and this is a good position. He's holding them off. There he put a lot of damage into the tier 7 sadly, not the tier 8, but it's still good. And he's holding them off there. He can stay relatively cooldown, so it's good for his tank. Yeah, no, I don't see much to do at this point. I mean, something else other than this. That's weird. Is this maybe an earlier game? He got matched with some lower rating teams, because those tier 7 guys are playing really weird. Of course you want to shoot the SU-130, he already has the HE loaded. Ah man. Yeah, and his team sort of died. But the ML DPM is very low. And the way you compensate for very low DPM is by putting it where it counts. And the IS-2, Berlin, and the Predator aren't really where it counts, which is an issue. But at the same time, there wasn't too much he could have done. If he had gone with the STG and the guy that helped him around the left, I mean, he's a slow tank, it's hard for him to do that, and he might have lost anyway. If he would have left these guys alone, they would have very likely died. So that's not really a play that I would intuitively want to make. And around the middle, there wasn't much thing to do. I'll watch it again, but I didn't see much to do. Because the guys are coming in through from the right, and if you go to the middle you just get crossfire from the right, which is probably what happened to his teammates. So yeah, I think this is the end of the game. Yeah. And yeah, he did get matched up quite badly in terms of rating, and he did do much more than anyone else in the game. This guy just died, but let's watch it again just to make sure we didn't miss anything. Oh man, this should be a good replay to look at because it's just nothing clear to see. It's good for analyzing. Yeah, so we looked at this, and when his team really started dying is about after he emptied his clip here. There's one dead, and these guys in the middle are getting absolutely murdered because they pushed in the middle with no real reason to push in the middle, and they're trying to hide behind the house, and shots are coming from all sides, and the guys that pushed around are also getting killed. And if you push in there, you'll just die with your team. Of course, you could say it's greater chance of winning by crashing through, like the T-2065 is trying there. It's not really working. They're coming around the flank, and yeah, it's really annoying. It's a slow tank with low DPM, and your team is just dying. Not too much that you can do there, and yeah, frankly, that's disappointing. He didn't need to pick against the the smasher at the start. That much is clear, but there's not too much more he could have done. I don't see, at least. So that was unfortunate. So that is this 3 out of the way, and we're left with 1 replayer person. None of them is here, so we'll take it in chronological order. Let's go with Yamato. Wow, this is interesting. So enemy team has all of the TDs, 2 fast heavies, Vickers plus T5041, and he has Bacha plus Skoda. And first thing here, this is I think the full script replay I was looking for. How do you expect this game to transpire? And the answer is 183s and Grilla doing absolutely nothing, staying at the back and waiting for someone to drive into their gun. Vickers and T5041 playing their flank. IS-7 and IS-8, they could be anywhere. They could play their flank, they could go aggressively straight into C, they could go onto A, they could be literally anywhere. Friendlies, 183 is going to do nothing, just stay in the back. Badger and Jagdtiger, you're expecting these two to do more or less the same, but they could play forward, especially the Badger. You might expect him to play a bit more forward. They're heavier armored tank destroyers. E100 is going to try and hold here behind the house, or maybe push, but that wouldn't make too much sense. And so what are you going to accomplish by coming here with the E5? If you're trading shots, you're trading against those TDs, IS-7, IS-8, and while you might be good at trading, all they need to do is stay back, and then Vickers and T5041 will crush their side and then just crossfire everything. So what I would do is go with them and hopefully kill the Vickers and the T5041. Double 183 and Grilla is really bad for pushing, so your guys should have no issue holding. And then you have crush shots, you can push around the back, you have a lot of freedom on the map, and that is why I would go the other way. And that is what I wanted to highlight with the full script replay I was looking for. And by the looks of it, I will highlight it here, because this is going to be a defeat, and that is the most likely cause for defeat I see. There's the 183, and there's the other 183. Now this is already surprisingly active for a 183, being this far up. I usually expect them to be super down, hiding at the back. Wow, that is weird. And we see that the mediums have already engaged in combat. We don't actually see what are their hit points. This is me looking around. They're bleeding a lot, and they're soon going to be very dead. And at this point you have to just push, because the mediums are losing, and you see that two of their tanks are not here, so you have to push and kill the tanks that are here. Win a flank and get something in return for your dead teammates on the other side. Sadly, the Badger appears to have lost the buttons on his screen, or the keyboard, whichever one he's using. You have to push. Use the reactive armor if he's shooting you. Okay, that was lucky. Because I don't see this going as a continuous brawl, so I would like to save the hit points right now and get it back by the time the next fight starts. But maybe I am wrong here. Yeah, a bit more careful aiming would go a long way here. It's not the first shot he's missed, but it's the easiest one he's missed. And yeah, he wasn't in time. And now they're fighting around the back. You should go and fight around the back. This guy is supported, there's no way you can kill him. Yeah, there's no way you can push here because the 183 and the IS-8 are supporting. And your E100 is dying, which will result in those guys coming after you. Ah, there's also a Yaktiga there. So you could go around and push and try to kill those guys. The 100 can come and join you, and if you kill those, you will lose the... is this the Badger here? The Badger, yeah, but you will still have the 183 and you could maybe do something. There is no way you're killing these three guys. Even though they're pushing after the Badger, you have to go very far out in order to take a shot, and the 183 is just looking at you. Of course you could shoot the 183, but he'll just hide, and then you have to deal with full hit points heavies and 2 mediums on the other side. So at this point just go around and kill their mediums with your E100. And that's it. He does do that eventually. Took a while. The T-5041 does get away, but if he manages to kill the Vickers, this is still salvageable, I think. And the Vickers is not stupid. He does realize the danger he is in. Runs away as well. At this point it's really tough. The Badger is going to die no matter what. These peaks here are just risky. Oh, and now the Vickers is coming around the back. He does use reactive armor, but okay, it saves him from the Gorilla. Yeah, I don't see a way to actually win. And double armor. Yeah, this is completely over at this point. Just go for damage. Even with an HE max roll, actually HE max roll would have killed him. So HE in the side there was the call, if you can. I mean, if you're playing on a mobile with 2 thumbs, then there's no way you'll switch and be able to hit it. You would have to be really, really good to do that. But on PC or by using a claw control scheme, you could do that. So HE in the side, hoping for a max roll. Even though he's 2 shots anyway, at this point the game is very clearly losing, and so your way of trying to cling to your chances is shooting HE. Of course, at the end you look at the team's damage and you think, man, these guys are so bad, how could you have carried? But maybe you could have. You could have definitely done more. No idea whether it would have been enough, but it would have been something. And yeah, the minimap is a bit too large. I shrunk it down a bit. So that was Akime Satsu. We have one more replay from Aquila and one more replay from Professor Hit. Let's go with Professor Hit again, and we'll leave Aquila for last. And I will also put the usual writing in the server for each of these replays. I'm also doing this. Since I'll look at them anyway, might as well go with the live and completely honest way of doing it. which is I don't just look at it and magically get an answer. I look at it, I had replays what I looked at for 5 times trying to find stuff and trying to engineer something. Okay, let me pause because I didn't look at the lineups. So first off we have mines, which is already bad. Playing the 100, not great. 3 TDs in each team. Oh my god, this is such a nightmare game to play. I would almost suggest you just run into them and go to the garage to play an actual game, but since it's on the server it will probably be pretty good. You have E100 and T57 and 422 with T54 as mediums, whereas they have IS4 and EO and M103 with a 140 as a medium. Oh, this is such a nice team they have, because the IS4 and the EO can very nicely play the heal. The 140 is quite fast, can get up on top of the hill. M103 also hold down heavy. The TDs are all nice, while you get freaking Conway. Yeah, I can't wait to see what the Conway will do to the front of the IS4. This is really not fun. He's going to the village, which is what you kind of have to go for, because if he goes heal, then those guys will just pick and bend his turret if he's trying to look at them, or bend his turret even if he's not trying to look at them. Just not good. And so he's going this way, which is what it should be. The IS4 is here and not on top of the hill, which is already a bit weird. And their 268 is not camping. This is already a surprisingly interesting game. The issue that we have is that nobody went hill, and the enemies have not only a medium but also a heavy on top of the hill, which is the M103. No, sorry, it is the M103. The O is down, and their mediums could have gone for the hill, but without heavy support, there's no way for them to really hold it. So at this point, what you're hoping for in order to win the game is that the enemies drive into your tank destroyers or into your gun and you just kill them. That's about it. The IS4 is going to die here, which is very good. Wow, the 268 actually took all of those shots to go for damage on the enemy 268. Anyway, it worked out thanks to the 422 picking up the kill on the IS4. Their 140 is flanking. Okay, so my eyes were wrong when I saw a medium up the hill. And the 140 is quite annoying there because he will spot the tank destroyers and there's nobody really in position to push him. Looks like the T57 is going for it, but while it could work, it's still not too comfortable. There goes the 183 already. Okay, so all that's left is the Conway in spawn. Yeah, I mean, he's doing fine here. He killed those guys. He doesn't push any further because you just can't push any further. You will get obliterated. So he's now trying to fight for whatever he can, namely the hill. He's been doing well so far. Unlike the 268, which has been helpful, but seriously, man. He probably just wanted to see the garage more than mines. He only took one shot in return, that's not bad. He could have tried for a high explosive on the side of the EO, you can penetrate that, but AP is just safer and much simpler mechanically to input, so it's fine. And the 422 got decapped, which is not good. At this point, yeah. Nice. That was good RNG there. And the 57 is going to die very quickly. And the 422 by himself cannot hold the village area. And if you go there, then they will just push down the hill, which is why he's trying to go forward. As the O, as he correctly noticed, is alone. Very good play here. Good. And now go up the hill is my guess. Or kill the 4005, but you have to try for an HE. It's higher damage than the AP with Spowliner on this tank. and if he's not using spawn liner, then you just get the kill. But go up the hill, man. He's trying to reverse up in order to keep his armor, but this wasn't needed. He could have just gone forward up the hill and then turned up. The ability wouldn't have been in time, I don't think. That's a good bounce, that's a good ram, and now you need the HE to hope for the kill. No, low roll. Damn, that's a bit unfortunate. And that's just unfortunate. It's just, yeah, going up the hill is the one improvement that I really see. Other than that, he did his best. It was a clear lineup gap. The enemy team had a better lineup, and then yeah, it didn't go terribly well. For him, it did go pretty well, but the team just died. The T-54 didn't do much. T-68 and T-57 pushed too aggressively and got killed. 183 died super early in spawn, so the Conway is the only one who had a good, who actually gave a good try, aside from the E100 we are looking at, obviously. And the 422, yeah, the 422 did pretty fine as well. It's really hard for him to play that map unless you get on top of the hill, which frankly I would have just gone for in place of the 422. You might get killed instantly, but I'd much rather take getting killed instantly than having to slog 5 minutes by staying in the back and trying to get a shot here and there on mines. So this is the last replay we look at, but maybe I'll play a few games myself afterwards for a laugh or two. I'm not sure. We're watching Aquila again. He's playing in the Progetto 65 ton. I think it's 65 ton. On New Bay. Now, I kinda lost on this map still. I've gotten much better, but the bridge area is still a bit annoying for me to play. Anyway, 2 mediums versus 2 mediums. They're actually the same mediums, funnily enough. On TDs it's 2 versus 2, but they have the big camper 183, whereas you have more action oriented 263 and the Arctiga. And the heavies is where the difference is at, because you have 50B, Mouse, and Kampfpanzer. 50B and Mouse will love to play the city because autoloader and fucking Mouse, whereas the Kampfpanzer could play either CZ or Hull down. While they have Kranwagen, which you could also play both ways, but Kranwagen is a Hull down tank. T-57, which is mostly city, and D75, which again is mostly city, but he can do perfectly fine on the Hull down. And also Baust and 50B could play fine, but if you go up and you run into a Kranwagen, you're not going to have a fun time. Yeah, this is probably what I would have done. Coming to this bridge, spot them early, and then if they're here, just run into the city with your team. He could have also kept going forward and turned left at the bridge and then back into his team that way. The enemies don't seem to be bridged. Okay, there is one. That's an interesting way of getting to the bridge. I was expecting Kranwagen and also 2 mediums to want to play here. So it's their choice. I'm not going to go too deep on whatever the enemy is doing. T-57 is coming up, you're hitting him well. Is the T-54 shooting high explosives? Man. I mean, at this point you have to go for one more shot. Oh, that was cheeky. Could have gone up a bit further to take a safe shot. He's not going to shoot you back, he's reloading. He's hit, but it could have very easily missed. Needed to, they had half a second for the next shell. You could have waited, could have loaded the entire thing by going back and then just clipped the T-54 while he was down there. You really didn't need to take that shot, and really of course there is a world in which the T-54 just gets away and then you've got nothing but a long reload, but I feel like losing an entire shell there wasn't really worth it. Good here, kill the T-57, nice, and now the projector is alone. The enemy team is winning in the city, so you want to push the projector and kill him. 50B is sadly down, but you do have a T-54, so you should be able to win. Just need to not take the entire clip yourself. Since the projector is running, this is perfectly safe, nicely done. And now you're in a situation which is not very comfortable, but since you're up the bridge, you're doing fine. You can shoot across the map. You have a T-54 as support, and you can have the what's it called, the 50B. And yeah, he considered his flank to be secure due to the 50B, but the Crown wagon just came as the 50B ran. He took a shot there, but I think it's fine. He would have had to take a shot if he had moved up anyway. At least that's what I saw with a single watch. And now you're losing gun points, which is not good. The teammates are pushing that way, and if you're alone here, there's not much you can do. You kinda have to go with. This is really not good. Would have probably gone for the 183 just because you can actually get the kill in a single clip, and that helps with the points. They have one less gun, one less brain, one less everything, vision, and at this point the game is already over. One shot for everyone, you cannot peek anywhere, and the one just finishes you off. That's a good game. It was pretty well played for the most part. Of course, a few things to highlight, but mechanically mostly. Or I mean mechanics, just micro stuff. Because I think he played reasonably well. He just got clipped by the T-57, that's unlucky. So there was that one risky shot, there was the shot you didn't need to take out the T-54. And now you're winning this flank, so there's no reason to move and help the city, which would be the only other alternative really. Yeah, the 54 gets away. That's not good, which is why holding that shot would have been so nice. And this is why the projector is nice. He doesn't get that shot, but he just keeps loading, and now he has it and he can put it here. Amazing. Love this tank. And from here on out, we've just watched it. He was looking for a shot there, can't get it. Let's kill the projector, which is the right thing to do. You want to kill the isolated target. Sadly, he was full hit points and you can't really get a kill. And from here on out, we've watched it. It was not much you could have done to win. Good game. Thank you for the submission. Do I even have to say that? I don't think I have to say that. It doesn't say anywhere in the contract. I'm not getting paid for this anyway. So that is all the replays. Now do I go for some more games? I have the grand total of 1 people watching. Presumably Bonsai still here. So actually, of course, is Bonsai still here? Yeah, my pleasure. What time is it even? 26. I mean, come on, this is a replay. I'll just end it here. So those were the replays I wanted to look at. Thank you everyone who came and talked through it. Thank you for the input, Galaxy, and also Luis Felipe. I'm pretty sure I put the accent completely wrong on that name. Anyway, also thank you Bonsai for coming. Always love to get the questions and the inputs, because that's the point of making a stream. Otherwise I'll just record a video. Anyway, thank you for coming, watching, all of that. I will end the stream here and also write a thing or two on the server about the replays. So I should work on my outros. Thank you for coming, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day.